alongside J-Dog.
Mike, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming to the show. You just did a 4-hour shift as being a father to your
Yeah,
young son, James Benatar. Thanks
yeah.
for showing up for this.
I'm here. We're doing it live. We're on air. You're at your new spot on the East Coast. Beautiful, beautiful darkness over there. It's great, right? Tell the
The
people how
winter
much you love the
solstice
East
is,
Coast.
is coming this week. Apparently, I picked a great week to come here. Sunset was around 4:25 p.m. Eastern time
It's
today in
great.
Connecticut. Don't recommend it in December. Maybe come back in April or so. It's been raining a lot. It's been cold a lot. But we're here, and I'm escaping for LA for Christmas to come see you. So it's going to
No,
be okay.
no snow, just rain.
No snow and no UFOs. Two things I'd be more okay with than the rain. We're going
Yeah.
to get to the UFO talk. I'm in the area, I'm in the region. I'm
Okay.
taking walks at night looking. I haven't seen them yet, but we're going to get to that in today's show. What I
We
want
could.
to start with, Mike,
Yeah.
what I want to
Go.
start with,
Yeah.
I watched Red Zone yesterday for the first time in over a
Wow.
month. I had a great day of football observations. Did you watch football yesterday?
I watched some football, in and out. But I thought the games were good, even though we had like 12 backup quarterbacks in throughout the day. So I thought it was solid football. It's weird when it's coming to like the winter time and teams are kind of making the playoffs. You see the bad teams. It's like who's playing for the job, who's not. I mean, you saw the San Francisco guy just kind of walk out like, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
it's over.
I mean, I would too if I was on the 49ers. I've been bashed by their fans all year long. And it turns out where J Dog was right was Brock Purdy's not a good NFL quarterback. Shanahan's not an offensive mastermind. And the Niners, how many points they score against your Seahawks? Was it 6 points the other night against the Rams? 6 points?
Yeah, well, listen, the Seahawks are not great either, but
No,
supposedly they're going to pay Purdy like $60 million a year. They're going to pay this
Like,
man.
our TikTok is going to go crazy when they
Oh,
pay
no.
Purdy, and we're just churning out videos of us saying that he's overrated, he shouldn't get paid. Our numbers are going to skyrocket because that's good content for us.
It is, but I'm thinking I got so much stuff I want to talk about today, but
Yeah.
the Purdy thing, I think it's kind of interesting because the idea of signing him, doesn't it feel like a Joe Flacco or somebody you knew that was never that good but could win you a Super Bowl? Like Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl. Like he wasn't the best. We always thought he was a game manager. Maybe sometimes game managers work for teams. It's not like you're going to get like a Patrick Mahomes who's making plays left and right. You're going to get a guy that's just like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm going to get paid $60 million." That's the bar, right? Every year the salary cap goes up, so it's like you got to keep inflating these numbers left and right. He might be the highest paid quarterback in the whole league next year.
Wait, they're not talking about making him the highest paid quarterback in the league, right? Like, that's not a real thing.
I don't think they're actually talking about it, but wouldn't $60 million be more than Patrick Mahomes and more than Jalen Hurts and more than
Burrow. Yeah, it would be. But no one is saying that. Like, I might not be seeing the same stories as you, but I feel like no one is saying Purdy's getting 60 million. Am I taking crazy pills? Am I the only person who realizes he's worth the $700,000 he makes on his rookie contract?
I'm seeing two stories. It's talking about Purdy, and then it's talking about, do you just blow up the whole 49ers? Do you just start refresh? Do you trade away the coach? Do you trade away everything you got and start over? Because they had a good run. They had a great run these
They had a
last
great
few years.
run, but you know
Yeah.
what they didn't do? They didn't hoist a trophy. They didn't have a parade. And for you, as a 49ers fan at one point in your life, that's upsetting. They never delivered what you needed, and you left to go to the Seahawks, who did deliver that with Russell.
Do you think that I just feel like this year is the year that like Patrick Mahomes isn't going to make it probably. We see Buffalo looking really good. The NFC I feel like is solid. We got Detroit there, but I feel like Detroit could get knocked off by any team that can score a lot of points. I don't think it's 49ers, but I do think
Not the
it's like
49ers, definitely not. But there's other teams in their division. The Vikings and the Packers
Yeah.
can get through the Lions. And what I learned yesterday watching ball is, of course, a Bills-Lions Super Bowl, Mike, would be amazing. We would all sign up for that right now. We want those two offenses, just like they were doing it yesterday. I'm here to tell you we don't want that. Because the Lions are decimated by injury. They came out with two more huge injuries today. Their defensive tackle, who they just locked up to a $100 million deal, and then Montgomery, who a lot of people say is the best running back on the team, better than Gibbs, because he's a foundation. He kind of breaks your kneecaps, as Dan Campbell says, on his way to running the ball. Without those guys, without Hutchinson, they're so decimated. I don't think they can stop teams in the NFC playoffs, and so I want to give you a sneaky NFC team to maybe put a little shekels on.
Yeah.
Maybe the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
No one is talking about the Packers. You just kind of grimaced as I said it. You're not
Yeah.
excited about it. Mike, they destroyed your Seahawks pretty easily. The Seahawks used to be a good team at one point. The Packers just did this shootout thing with the Lions themselves, and now the Lions have lost players since that shootout game. I feel like the Packers are positioned to go on the road and beat Detroit in the playoffs.
So I was going to save this till later. We're fading the Seahawks this week, but I do have a stat. Listen, Geno Smith got injured. He was taken out. Something wrong with his knee. It's still together. That's what the coach said. Like his knee is together. That's what they said. So like that's a great sign for a guy that's pushing 40.
Okay.
But our boy Sam Howell came in, and I did some research. I've been using. It's really interesting. Grok on X or Twitter or whatever pulls data from everybody that's tweeting. So all the data that's on there from all the analysis and everything is all on there. So you can easily pull up really great stats for any NFL player. So I pulled up some stats on our boy Sam Howell. It's not good. It's not good.
We used to be a Sam Howell podcast until he came into the game last night, basically.
Yeah, it was really bad. So Sam Howell leads the lead in sacks taken, which is great. That's 65.
Not his fault.
He's started 19 games and he has 21 interceptions.
That's his fault.
Yeah. It's almost as bad as Jameis. Jameis can put up like maybe 3 a game, but also make up with like touchdowns. Sam Howell did not do that last night. But yeah.
So Washington knows what they're doing. They gave up on Sam Howell. They went for Jaden
did.
Daniels. That was a good move. He is amazing. They're on a collision course with the Eagles. And so if you're going to look at two teams that are dominating the NFC, it's the Lions and the Eagles. And you're saying, oh, they're destined to meet in the NFC Championship game. I'm here to tell you these road division teams that they're going to go in so hungry. Green Bay is going to go to Detroit in the playoffs. And if it's not Green Bay, it's Minnesota. One of them will. And then the same idea with the other team, with the Commanders going into Philadelphia in the playoffs. They actually play this week too. I think those two road teams, I would put money on them right now, knowing those are the matchups, knowing they can beat their divisional opponents in the playoffs. Mike, you're not agreeing with me.
I just saw. Did you watch the game against the Saints yesterday, where they had whatever that quarterback was in the first backup of backup of backup?
I saw that. You didn't cover the game, but I did see the officials made a mistake, and that's the reason you didn't cover the game.
Yeah. Well, first of all, there was a backup in, and then they brought in Ritter, right? Ritter.
Yeah. No, Ritter's on the Raiders. That's a different backup.
Is it Rattler?
Rattler.
Yeah. They brought him in, and all of a sudden they're trying to win a game. I feel like Washington might be frauds. They might not be a real team.
Whoa.
The Saints are not a good team, and this is a backup of a backup of a backup that is in the game, and they're potentially going to win the game. I know the clock randomly stopped on 9 seconds, which was very weird. You didn't catch it in the moment, but you thought like, all right, like they got a shot here. They got a few seconds left. They could probably pull this off. Should have spiked the ball instead of just like lining up. But I think Washington's a fraud, unfortunately. I really like them.
That's the three teams that are going to not win the division in the NFC but make the playoffs. It's Washington, it's Green Bay, and it's Minnesota. Rank those three teams in terms of their playoff odds going forward.
So
who would
what
you
do we
want
got?
to put money on?
We got Washington, we got Minnesota, and Green Bay.
Yeah.
I guess you have to go Minnesota, Green Bay, Washington. In that order. Because I thought Washington.
So you agree with my Green Bay take after all, is what you're saying?
I don't think Green Bay is good. I just don't feel confident in it. It's something when I watch Jordan Love, I'm like, I don't know if you're really the guy. Are you really the guy that's going to do this? Like, could you swap him out with another quarterback and it would be just the same team? Like, they have a lot of good weapons. They run the ball well. The Seahawks were not good. Okay, the Seahawks are done. They're out of the playoffs after the loss yesterday. So now
they're not out yet. They're not out.
I think they're out. They're
not eliminated. They're like they slid out, but they're not eliminated yet. They can still slide in.
I just don't think Sam Howell. I don't think he's going to do it. So it's just like my future bet of them winning the division is over, basically.
But your future bet of Josh Allen winning MVP is already cashed. That thing is cashed in week 15.
Cash.
He did it again yesterday. Like, this guy is an animal. He has no weapons on his whole offense, and he makes all these random people look amazing. And I have to give you props because you bet on this at some point early in the year, and Josh is the runaway MVP winner.
It was during our early – we recorded in July is when I put the bet in. That's when I put the bet.
That's as early as my Sam Darnold take.
Yes, that one would have cashed so much more if you said he was going to be like going to the playoffs.
Can I ask a quick bullshit or believe on Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Josh Allen, best quarterback play the NFL has ever seen. Is he playing the best ever right now? Bullshit or believe?
I would say believe, but in more of like it's entertaining to watch. It's not like oh, we're just, chipping through, you're playing, you're doing well. He's like it seems like he's having fun. He got engaged and it's just been off the charts since then.
You really credit the engagement with
I do.
turning things around. He was pretty good before that. He just had
He
a
was.
clubhouse cancer named Stephon Diggs on the team that maybe always held him back.
Listen, sometimes you got to factor in those life changes. Remember when Russell's on like kid 9 right now? I thought in the first few it affected him more, but once you have 9, I think it's like kind of over. It doesn't affect you anymore. So stuff like that you got to watch out for. Like Patrick Mahomes, his wife's pregnant right now. That could be affecting him at home. He's got 2 kids, pregnant wife. He might not be playing well. He hasn't even scored 30 points this season.
And a high ankle sprain. Should he just sit until they go to the playoffs at this point? Why play regular season games?
Netflix is going to pay him so much money to play on Christmas Day. He's going to sit out this weekend. Netflix is going to be like...
No, Netflix used all their money on those commentators and Mariah Carey and Beyonce. Netflix is out of money.
They're out of money? I don't know. They're going to pull it out. They're really like, Patrick Mahomes, you need to be here on Christmas Day or this is a bust for us.
There's a big NBC game with Patrick Mahomes this Saturday before the Netflix game. So maybe someone else can also pay for him to be there.
Yeah, if Netflix can't pay, this other company definitely
Come on, we had
can't
Madden Cast on Saturday, Mike. I thought you were excited for all this stuff.
I am excited for Madden. So how's it going to work? Because I saw Ocho Cinco in a room playing Madden over a commercial. And I'm like, is this how the Madden Cast is going to go? Are they just playing and bullshitting kind of like the Peyton brothers, or the Eli, whatever, the Manning brothers? Or is it just going to be a virtual version of it in Madden?
I didn't know this, but Chad Johnson is an official Madden grader. He is actually moving people's player ratings in real time during Sunday Night Football games. He's like moving their ratings inside the game. So that's kind of fun right off the bat. And he's participating in this.
That's fun.
Some quarterback I've never heard of. He's like a washed up quarterback, but he now works for Madden or something. He's also a part of it. And they're going to be like playing the game with like the certain controllers that's going to like look like the gameplay. When you're watching it, instead of like an NFL game, it's going to look like you're watching someone play Madden. And then like the replays will be like from Madden camera angles and like Madden, like it's going to feel like a video game and look like a video game instead of an NFL game. I think it's for younger crowd. We'll see how it goes. I think it's an experiment.
Is it, so wait, is the game on NBC and Madden Cast is on Peacock?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Good promo.
Okay, all right. I'll check it out.
And this is rare Saturday NFL. It's like, why are we doing NFL Saturday afternoon? Because college football is just trying to exist and just trying to grow. And the NFL and Roger is always like, no, you cannot grow. He does this to the NBA and Adam Silver. He says, you want to control Christmas Day? No. He's like, college football, you're trying to have a college football playoff on a Saturday in December? No, you can't do it. I'm putting the Chiefs, Texans, Ravens, Steelers on Saturday afternoon. Roger loaded up the slate just to screw with college football this weekend. Those games are on TNT, which is also crazy. Just want to mention ESPN sub-licensed these college football games to TNT and Max.
Like for the exchange?
It was for an exchange for like other games. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's for money. I think they're getting.
I thought it was for the NBA show, with Shaq and everybody.
That's actually a different trade where inside the NBA is going to ESPN. There's so many trades.
Yeah.
Inside the NBA is going to ESPN. They traded like Big 12 football games. This one is a license deal. TNT lost the NBA, so they felt like they couldn't still charge the same amount for their channel because they lost sports. And so they added these 2 football games this Saturday, thinking that's going to help. But we don't cover college football.
Well, I was going to say our NBA conversation last week popped off. A lot of comments. The news keeps coming out. NBA keeps dropping in ratings and viewing. I have not watched. Again, we don't watch until after Christmas or on Christmas Day, but maybe not this year because of football. Yeah. But they got to do something. And I don't know if anybody's really concerned. It seems like fans are more pissed off that it's unwatchable at this point.
Well, they just signed a new long-term deal, so maybe Adam Silver's chilling on a beach somewhere. He's got his money made for the next 10 years. But what I would say to that is I saw a headline from this weekend. Mike, WWE Saturday night main event was back on NBC on Saturday night. They haven't been on broadcast TV in like 30 years or something. It's crazy. That beat the NBA Cup semifinal game on ABC at the exact same time. So now wrestling is beating NBA. I don't think Adam Silver predicted that at this point for his NBA Cup, which no one cares about.
Yeah, the NBA Cup felt a little weird. It felt like too European, and as an American, we want stuff that like matters. And when you do a random tournament in the middle of the season, we don't really care. at
Isn't that
all.
what the whole NBA feels like? A bunch of Europeans shooting threes at this point?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess that's the problem. Do you want to talk about Tua? Do you want to talk about Travis Hunter being the Heisman? What do you want to talk
We're
about?
on college football. Travis Hunter, Heisman. I think he's going to play cornerback in the NFL. He played both positions, receiver and corner at Colorado. You can't do that in the NFL. I don't think it'll work at least. Jay Glazer sampled 13 GMs and said, what would you do with this
Hmm.
guy? And 12 of them said starting cornerback with packages on offense. And one coach or one GM said receiver. So it's more likely he'll be a starting corner with some little packages. And he'll be like a top 3 pick. So it's going to be like QB, Hunter in the first 3 of the draft.
So it's interesting because I always thought that when I'm playing NCAA, I'm playing through
That's right.
UCF year 20 right now.
More
When you're
natties, huh? You're
drafting,
bringing some more natties home.
when you are looking at players, there's like a little athletic sign. You get the QB, you get the positional players. So this is the first time an athletic player. So I guess that means you play 2 dual roles at some point, or you could be quarterback, wide receiver, whatever.
Yeah,
So this is the first time anybody has ever won the Heisman for that
yeah,
position.
yeah.
But it seems weird because I feel like you make more of an impact as a wide receiver than you do as a cornerback. I feel like as a cornerback or like a defensive player, you're not as big. It's not like a name. You're like, oh God, you're scared of him, and they don't seem to last long, right? It's like Richard Sherman. There was like a brief moment where it's like, oh, you don't want to go against him, but then it just kind of fades away. But I feel like wide receivers get more longevity to them, and I don't know. Does he
I
want to
agree
play
with you.
that
Like if he
position?
comes out and if he's as good as Jamar Chase at receiver, he's going to be a receiver. I think the point is he's
Yeah.
not quite at that level at receiver,
Uh,
but he might be that level of a cornerback. He might be an elite top 1 or 2 or 3 corner in the NFL, might be a top 20 receiver in the NFL. So like if that's what the case is, might as well have him start at corner, run some plays. Hey, maybe 3rd and 5, he's always in there as your slot receiver and you got
yeah.
some stuff cooked up for him. You also mentioned bigger as in a bigger deal.
Yeah.
He's not that big. I think he's around 6 foot or 6'1". And so a lot of those receivers are big boys. Maybe
Yeah.
corner's a better position for someone that size.
It's also got to go to the right team, right? You're not going to go to the Giants and think like that coaching staff's going to be like to understand how to use you. You got to go to like a Shanahan or somebody that wants to mix it up a little bit. Most teams are not
The
going to do it.
Giants have to draft someone. It's like like Dion can't say Shador can't go there, Travis Hunter can't go there. Like you
No.
can't command the whole top of the draft. I think Dion is working for Shador. I think the Raiders will keep losing tonight on purpose and in the future, so
Oh,
they get the number 1 pick. So they get Shador Sanders in there. That's kind of what we talked about last week with Dion and Antonio Pierce partnering
yeah.
up, maybe. And then we'll go from there. The Giants need a quarterback. That they lost to Vito yesterday. There was someone else random playing for them.
Yeah, I don't know who was playing yet. I don't think it matters. They lost to Vito, and I don't know why Drew Lock wasn't playing. So it's just like that
Yeah.
whole. It's so sad that like a big franchise like that can't get it together. Like even I thought the Rams were going to be bad this year, but they're like pulling it out and playing well, which is
But you know
surprising.
what? But you know what, Mike? The Giants obviously suck, and they're not entertaining in New Jersey. But something that doesn't suck and is very entertaining in New
Yeah,
Jersey are the drones. That's the best show going in New Jersey
they
right
are.
now.
All right. So listen, we have been on our conspiracy thread. We talked about it with our mutual friend's brother. Zach was on the pod a few weeks ago when you were traveling. We
Right.
talked full on conspiracies the entire time. And this was all before the drone sightings were out there. Now the drone sightings are out there.
Some
I
are
don't know.
saying you guys triggered the drones to come out. You
We
guys
might
kind of
have.
brought them out of the woodwork.
So I don't know why they're all calling them drones when we would have just called them UFOs. I understand the way they fly. Why call them drones? Like, can we just call them UFOs? What is the problem with that? That's my first issue.
Well, my first let's answer these one by
Yeah.
one. I don't
Yeah.
think they're unidentified flying objects. I think they're identified drones. Oftentimes they have the green and red lights on them.
Yeah.
They're not moving in ways that a lot of these UFOs move, which is like out of sight instantly or vertical and down. It seems like they're moving like more conventional aircraft, which some people
So
say they are, or drones.
my rebuttal to that is I thought you mentioned this was can't they just mask and pretend to be a drone type, like a airplane type with the flashing lights and pretend almost as a disguise? Because I was saying, why do UFOs need lights? Like if they're that advanced, they definitely don't need lights flying in the sky. So I just feel like that's a little weird. So maybe they're like
Okay.
disguised.
That
We,
wasn't my idea, but I like that idea.
we obviously know that the supercomputer Willow has been turned on by Google, which is terrifying. And they've said there is a theory of the multiverse because of this thing has been turned on. And that's kind of right when all this started popping off a little bit.
You're right. Strange timing. The Google supercomputer is confirming that multiple dimensions, multiple universes must exist. And you're like, how can a supercomputer tell me that? The supercomputer couldn't get to this point without running code in multiple dimensions and multiple universes to be this strong. It couldn't happen on one singular plane, is kind of how I think it's described. And so it's already confirming that there's multiple dimensions. Of course, some of us are aware that we might be in a simulation or multiple versions of this life going on at once. That's not new to us. It's new when Google comes out and says it is.
Well, also, like, I don't understand quantum physics or anything quantum at all. And it seems a little over my head of trying to understand. Like, you almost can't understand what they're doing, but basically it's like something that would take like basically 10 billion years to crack a code. It can do it in 5 minutes, which now they're kind of concerned about Bitcoin. Will Bitcoin's code be cracked? Probably not, but it potentially.
But Mike, I was told we have 2 to 4 years to figure out the code on crypto, or else it's all going to be hacked.
Listen, everything's gonna be hacked if we have a multi-universe dimension, interdimensional.
Too, that's one. What are the drones doing? So on one hand, they could be unidentified, as you say, disguising themselves. What if it's a more conventional thing? What if they're just either regular drones or American Army drones, soldier drones operated by the U.S. Air Force, U.S. government? Is that possible? And if it is, what are they doing? Because I think you can branch off from there.
Well, I think there's multiple theories going around, right? We think, somebody said maybe we have lost a nuclear something, and they're trying to track down
a dirty warhead from Ukraine. Apparently, there's some missing from Ukraine. A popular drone maker did a video on this that I saw. Then Joe Rogan actually found it after me. It was in our thread before Joe Rogan had it, I'm pretty sure. And that one was really kind of scary in a way, because it said that they were looking or smelling for nuclear or radiation coming from a dirty bomb that they suspect could be in the area. Very much speculation. We are not reporting that, but it's a scary version of what they could be doing.
Now, I don't want to toss anybody out here, but we have a friend in our thread that has not answered any questions for the last maybe year. And we think he might work for a secret agency, and he does not want to tell us and disclose that information. I think something's going on that we don't know. And that's all. That's what I'm going to leave it at. I think we have a friend in the deep inside, in the deep state, and he's not telling us information.
That friend used to be a listener. I don't know if he's still listening to this at this time, but if you are, let's talk directly to him. We just want to know that we are okay and we're not alone. If you can just prove that we're safe
even
and
more,
we're not alone, that would be great.
I want to know I'm right. I want to know I'm right about these UFOs. I want to know that he has been hiding these the entire time. Everybody's known they had this tech. All these drones, I'm just going to call them UFOs. You can call them UAPs, whatever you want. I don't think they're all manned. Like the mothership theory. I don't believe, like, there's no goddamn way Syria launched a mothership over North America.
But the crazy thing is, a congressman said that. Like, that wasn't people on a podcast. That was a congressman. So anything we say won't be as crazy as that.
I know, which is crazy. I think Trump actually knows, and I think when that man gets in office, he's going to be like, "This is why we're doing it." But also, Trump has not been to New York, and he has a residence there, right? He has a tower.
A lot of speculation was these drones were over Bedminster, his golf club in New Jersey, where he usually is in the winter. And I am here to tell you that there's no reason for that man to come from Florida to this part of the world in winter. So he should stay down there for a while. It seemed to expand the scope. There's other things about New Jersey. I'm up here in the region, Mike. There's a body of water. There's a reservoir that's like super, super deep. People die there every year swimming, kind of a haunted reservoir, if you will. A lot of the drones have been seen in this water area. We've talked a lot about water. Could they be going in and out? Maybe we're not seeing that part of it, but possibly even exiting the water, possibly knowing that things are about to end on this planet and getting the hell out of here before it does. That's one theory as well.
Well, there has been a lot of sightings in that region for years, supposedly.
Yeah.
So I didn't know New Jersey was such a hotbed. Like, we didn't have to go to Area 51. We can just go to Jersey and see some UFOs.
But Mike, you could have told us that, because you had a very strange experience in New Jersey before.
I have. Well, I was born in Jersey. I've seen multiple ghosts in New Jersey. My grandparents' house, 100% haunted, and I'm not the only one who ever said that. It is my entire extended family has seen ghosts and weird things happen in that house. Latches on doors flying open, people walking, like, literally. Before my grandparents died, they would literally sit on the living room and be like, "Oh yeah, at night we see people just walking through the hallways." And they just didn't care. This is just
And
like,
this
yeah,
is alien capital of the world. Now you can't separate cleanly ghosts and haunted from
yeah.
aliens. They're kind of in the same ballpark here, and maybe that's all related to
Especially
what you're
if we're
saying.
talking interdimensional things, yeah, I think they're all connected. All right, so we got way off topic, but that
I got another off topic, a little bit off
give it to
topic,
me.
but I'll start with sports and bring it to a weird place.
Okay.
What's going on with star athletes getting their houses broken into? We saw it with
Mm,
Travis Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes in
yep.
Kansas City. We saw it with Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. There's a few angles of the Burrow story we could attack as part of a Scandal City podcast. One is this man was engaged to a woman. I don't know her name, but she has the same name as the new woman. I find that
Olivia.
interesting. Olivia. It's
Okay.
Olivia. Both are Olivia.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he was engaged to Olivia since college at LSU, going way back before he was good looking and famous and rich. And we all know how these go. And he was kind of with her for a long time until this year. And this year on Instagram, they seem to broken up, call
Hmm.
off the engagement. Joe is single. Now Joe has someone place a call from his house for a break-in, but that someone was named in the police report and outed publicly as a swimsuit model by the same name, Olivia, but much younger than his Olivia.
Yeah.
This is a 22-year-old swimsuit model.E Burrow's like 28. He's not the youngest guy anymore.
Now,
And he's upset about that. So that's the first thing we could talk about.
so the weird thing is, I used to do some photography in LA, but also I used to see this person online. But I thought this person was a lesbian. That was what the first thing the internet reacted to because she was dating girls
Yes.
exclusively.
Yes.
So now we're here, but also Joe Burrow on like some statement somewhere said she works for him. She's on like payroll.
That's what she said on the 911 call. He didn't want to even talk about it that much.
I know.
He was in tears, virtually in tears, talking about this, and it didn't seem to be. I don't want to attribute his tears. It didn't seem to be tears that his privacy was violated in his house. It was tears that the world knows that he's dating a 22-year-old lesbian or bisexual swimsuit model.
I mean, it is weird that all these people are getting targeted so hard. It's like, I don't know how you don't like. I feel like I have some pretty good security, and I am not a celebrity. I have cameras everywhere. I have things that beep and ding and go off if I'm not home. Like, I don't know what's going on with these NFL stars that don't have like some sort of home security.
There's something going on here. That's the second part of this Joe Burrow story.
Yeah.
Is what is going on. And so there's a few ideas. One is that there's a Venezuelan gang-related crime ring who is targeting the most wealthy athletes in America in order to scare them and to potentially get into the sports world somehow. They want to infiltrate the
Oh.
sports world with business, with their own ideas from Venezuela. And we've seen this not far away in Saudi Arabia. Another terrorist world is getting involved in sports with golf, with buying rights to certain moto races and things over there. Could Venezuelan crime ring be stepping it up,
Interesting.
putting pressure on the biggest athletes we have? Mahomes and Burrow, I mean, if LeBron gets broken into, like Tiger, like those are the biggest we got in this country, and they're all getting hit so far. So could it be? I'm not reporting this; others are. So I'm going with it, Mike. A Venezuelan crime ring getting involved in pro sports.
So it seems like a weird way they get involved. Breaking into their house. Are they trying to like blackmail the stars? Is that
Maybe.
kind of like their angle?
Joe
on it?
Burrow seemed very, very upset about this.
Oh,
Very
interesting.
upset.
So maybe some blackmail.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be like part of his like team and maybe be endorsing. That's interesting. I didn't hear that. That's a little fun one. Maybe not fun, but interesting.
Not fun, but it's something to keep an eye on. And so we started with sports there, but there's a lot of tentacles. I want to know why he was like almost in tears talking about this. That's what's triggered me this week.
Well, I feel like it's kind of scary to get broken into because you feel kind of like somebody like it's in your stuff, and then you don't really know what's gone until you know it's gone. Like if you're checking, like, oh, I wonder where my passport is. It's like, oh, your passport's gone. It's in Venezuela now. Somebody is.
That would be scary. I didn't know he's 28 either. Burrow, sneaky old.
I was gonna say kind of young. I feel like he's been in the league a while.
28's not that young anymore.
Yeah, but if Brady can go to 40, we can assume people can go to like 37, like 10 more
Brady.
years.
I thought Brady was really bad again on that game yesterday.
Honestly, with Red Zone, I don't even hear him. I feel like I hear Romo more. But yeah, Brady's not great. He's not going to be there next year.
What'd you think of that window with the two great games at 1:25 your time yesterday? We had the Bills, Lions, and Steelers, Eagles late.
I was in and out, but I was watching the Bills game. I was kind of like there at the beginning, missed it, and then watched the end of it. But yeah, I thought the games were. I thought all the games were great, even though we had a lot of backup quarterbacks in. I feel like this is the time of year when we know teams are actually good or bad. But sometimes sneaky good if they just like throw in somebody new. I have a lot of bets this week. Hopefully they hit. I'm still throwing out a lot of same game parlays. Didn't hit any last week. Just hit my alternate spread Bucks -6.5, which paid like 3-1, which was nice.
Okay, you were all over the Bucks. You knew they were going to go to LA and win that game.
Yeah, I thought I was going to the game. I was invited,
Oh.
then uninvited to the game.
Who uninvited you?
It was like he invited me, and then he realized he invited somebody else of a friend coming in town, and then he's like, "Hey, my friend's coming." It's like, "Oh no worries." Like I almost forgot about it, but then I got uninvited.
That's so mean and sad.
It's okay.
And you bet on it, and you would have been celebrating the whole time.
I would have been celebrating. Yeah, I probably would have went to the casino.
But you probably would have been driving back during the fourth quarter when they won. So would you have really celebrated it?
Oh, well, maybe not. All right, let's talk some bets this week. Weird week. We got Saturday game. We got Thursday. We got Sunday. Then we got a Wednesday game, and then we got a. Do we have a Thursday game next week too?
We do every night. Yeah.
Okay, we got football every day.
Yeah.
What we're talking this week, it's week 16. We have 2 more weeks right after this until January. I'm going with the cock here on our first Saturday game. I'm taking Houston at KC, and I like Houston -2.5 because if Patrick Mahomes is out and this team can't score 30 with Patrick Mahomes, I do not think Carson Wentz is the backup. I don't think he can score enough points for Houston to slow down Houston, basically.
Houston's not very good. Make no mistake. What the Dolphins did yesterday was on the Dolphins, not Houston playing well, because they didn't. C.J. Stroud is not having a good year. Those receivers outside of Nico Collins not getting open. I don't know what's up with them. It's not good. But you're right. You're getting early money without the Chiefs quarterback, so I get why you go that way.
Still -2 on the road in KC. We don't know what the weather's going to be. That worries me this time of year when you're betting on a team and it's like, oh, it's going to be outdoors. Because I think the Carolina game this week is going to be like rainy and snowy or something. So it's going to be gross. Yeah.
It's not good for Bryce Young. Noodle arm.
He really kind of failed last week. I thought he was going to do well against Dallas. I thought they were going to actually beat Dallas.
Mike McCarthy is coaching himself into an extension. You watch.
It's so sad. All right. This is a gross game. I'm taking the Jags +1 in Vegas. Bad teams. I predicted last year Mac Jones was going to find himself in a good position here. This man is fighting for a job. He played well. Scored a lot of points. Wish he was on my fantasy bench because guess who was on my fantasy team? Jameis Winston. And that man didn't score any points because he was taken out of the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Like 0 points?
I think it was like 1.2 points. Yeah.
A few weeks ago, Jameis was scoring, 600 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Well, 600 was included with interception return.
Returns.
Yeah,
well,
6
Those should count. Some say those should count.
This is a gross game, but I feel like Mac Jones is playing for a job. I don't know what the Raiders are doing. They're playing to lose, and I'm hoping they lose. And this is a spot for the Jags.
Jets were my local game yesterday, Jets and Jags. I was watching Mac Jones a little bit in addition to Red Zone. Mac Jones, every time he made a positive play, he would get in the defender's face. He would get in defensive lineman's face. He's like talking trash. I think that's a reason to bet on him because of all the confidence going forward. Who knows if it works?
I also think Bill Belichick is very critical, and he drafted him and he gave him a shot and he liked him. He saw something in him. So for me, I'm like, oh yeah, if this guy can do something. Also, we didn't talk about Belichick going to.
But we did. UNC. I just thought of that. I led last week's show with like that was going to happen before it was actually happening. I just got to mention that. Like we were first on that last week.
We were first. I don't know why we're not getting any press for it, but
it's weird.
We were first. And did you know he's bringing Lombardi over?
Your boy, your betting guy.
Yeah. So he's bringing him over, which is interesting. I don't understand. To me, it feels like, well, can he just leave? I feel like he's going to leave for an NFL job. He wants to get that career win total, right?
His buyout after 1 year, his buyout before 1 year is like $10 million. It's insurmountable. His buyout after 1 year goes down to $1 million. Any NFL team can come grab him. And so it's really like a rehabilitation more than a long-term thing. Then his son slides in, I think, to get it. Lombardi's going to be the GM. I think we talked about this too. The GMs of college football, we talked about that whole NIL and business stuff. Yeah. He's going to build a roster with a salary cap of like $20 million a year, just like you would in the NFL with much more money. But hey, you have less. He's going to build it out. I need a receiver. I need a tight end. Like kind of put it together in free agency. It's a whole business. And you're right. Smart money is going into college. Mike, we need to take advantage of this because that is a trend to get ahead of.
How do we get in? How do we just like pool money together and just like get a little piece of a team or NIL deal?
Let's sponsor like a group of receivers at some, like Marshall University's receivers, sponsored by TSH.
Okay, I like that. Okay, yeah. I just don't understand. The business works in a way like Dave Portnoy's paying a player to go quarterback in Michigan, But Dave Portnoy does not get anything out of it other than a little bit of press and love for Michigan, right? There's no money involved on his side. He's just like, I want Michigan to win, and I will buy my way a win or a title.
It's not in the spirit of name, image, and likeness, NIL. We would be saying, hey, we want something in return. Yes. We want some name, image, likeness going on here where we're going to promote you, you promote us, and we pay you for it.
All right. I'm taking Minnesota -2.5 in Seattle. Geno's out. Sam Howell's in. I told you the stat. Most sacked guy in the league. At least one interception per game. So I'm saying this game, bet the over. Bet the over on Sam Howell interceptions. Bet the over and Minnesota. Maybe an alternate line for Minnesota. There's no way Seattle wins this game.
Minnesota's on a short week on the road to Seattle. Man, they haven't played their game yet, and they have to fly on Friday to Seattle, Mike. I hate the short week travel stuff like that. So for that reason alone, I'm still a Sam Howell stan.
Wow. Okay. Patriots are at Bills. I'm taking the Bills -14. Bills have scored 30-plus games in the last 5 games, and Mac Jones is no longer there. Drake May. Sometimes he looks good. Sometimes I don't believe in him fully. I don't think it's this game. Bills love to run the score up. They just love it. It's just like domination as much as they can do. I'm taking the Bills. -14, give it to me. Pats are done.
I like it. This was flexed a little bit later in the day. It's now a 4:25 start. It's going to end at night. Gives the Buffalo fan base a little 3 hours extra to drink before the game. So
and clear out all the snow or anything?
Clear out the snow. The Bills are scoring with ease. It's never this easy. For the teams that do this in mid-December, it never holds up to the end of January. So I'm telling you right now, enjoy it while you can. It won't hold up.
This is a sad one, Jeremy, but I'm taking San Francisco +2.5 at your boys in Miami.
Wow.
I don't believe in Miami. I don't believe in San Francisco, but give me the 2.5 points. Maybe this creeps to 3. I don't know what's going on with Tua. I think this is another team. You know what? They should just trade. Just put Tua in San Francisco. Take Purdy over in Miami.
Can we trade the contracts? $200 million for $700,000. That would be amazing. I think I would take that. I don't think San Francisco would. Mike, I attacked you last week for taking the Dolphins every week. I said, "What's wrong with you?" And you said, "Wait, there's more." You took them again against the Texans, and you failed again. And so I'm glad to hear you're finally off of that, which means they're probably going to win at home against a team flying from west to east coast. I love that part.
That's all I got. Great pre-football week before Christmas. I feel like it just doesn't stop. We have football
every day. I know.
And then it's like the Christmas Eve or whatever. On Monday we get football too, right? Monday football.
Yeah.
So much football this week.
And so next week we're back. We're going to do a regular show next Monday. And then we have a special holiday show for the week after. And that's where Sports Radamas comes out. That's where we do a little year-end Scandal City. Look back, look forward. One of our favorites every year.
Yeah, it's a great show. I'm going to try to pull some clips from last year, see if we got anything. I don't know what – I haven't looked yet, if anything, if we hit on a lot of stuff. I feel like you hit a lot in the first, few months of the year.
Yeah.
That's all I got. So check out the Sports Hangover. There's swag up there. People are buying swag randomly. A lot of random shirts being sold up there. Subscribe to us on Substack. We're there. You can chat with us if you're a subscriber. It's free to subscribe. You can chat with us, comment, tell us how bad our takes are. All in Substack. Very easy, very free. Actually, I'm going to download everybody that's purchased from the Sports Hangover store, and they're going to now get the emails. I forgot about that. So they're
adding to the list.
Well, I feel like, Big Lou might not understand how that operated, so we're going to get him in
get him signed
by
up.
default. Yeah.
Big Lou also doesn't know how a competent offense looks after yesterday, so he's searching for a lot of things.
All right. See you. Good job.